Let's have a play with the Builder Journal. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. Today I'm having a play with the stamps, with the ink. I'm having a look at my little flip out page here. This accordion flip out piece that I've put together for this month's project. And this is the idea where we've got 3 panels that pull out and together they sort of work. They all match in a way. This is an eco print that I've managed to achieve with some turmeric spice, some rusty elements and the use of alum. And I'll be showing that in more detail later on this month. But what I've got here is 3 panels that have been hinged together using fabric pieces and some sewing techniques. So this is just by capturing the sewing thread on both sides of the edge there so that it creates a nice easy fold without bulk. But I then added bulk in by putting fabric on the other side, but that was just for decorative detail. And now I'm just putting a few stamps on there, adding a little bit of interest. I'm just going to add this stamp here. I haven't put any texture of the script behind. I've done that over there. And I think that that's really quite fun just to have it like that and not have the script. So there I would like a floral image with the script to tie that all together, but this looks very nice plain. So just some nice simple embellishment. This looks nice on any kind of grunge papers. Perhaps you've been looking at some of the natural dyes and you've got a mottled effect on your paper. It looks lovely with some black stamping. There we go. So that is all I'm going to do there, and I'm going to just leave that like that and see how I feel, because sometimes the ideas develop and you might want to do a bit more later, but I shall just leave that. So now I'm delving back into the box of goodies, the things that I have been sent, and only these things can I use to create a journal this year. So I'm collecting things up from swap partners, people that send me happy mail. So I'm part of a group of 9 people at the moment and we are all swapping with one another. So every month I receive another happy mail parcel with this month's challenge in it. So the next parcel I will receive should have an accordion flip out in the style of the creator, whatever they've wanted to create for me, and I will be sending mine on to another person in the group. So that's been really fun. But what I'm noticing is I've got quite a lot of little bits here, some lovely extras that I've been sent, and it's these bits that accumulate and mount up. So if we don't put them somewhere, we don't want it to become overwhelming. So I'm going to just look at all of that now. And I think the best thing to do is just pull everything out of the box and I can see exactly what it is that I've got to work with. So I've got some nice bits that I was sent here. And then I've got the smaller bits I've tried to contain and keep in this packet here, so that gives me lace and trims, nice little embellishment pieces there. And then I've got some just standard packaging paper, some napkins, some eco dye. I've got this brown paisley fabric that I was sent from Joanna, and I have tried to coffee stain it. It hasn't worked too well because it is a poly cotton and it is not taking up the natural dye. So what I've ended up doing is putting it in with some rusty elements, and I've got a bit of rust stain there, which is quite interesting, and then that bit is plainer. So I've got a bit of brown fabric is what I'm saying there. So that's that, and then I've got some nice papers here which I think will be fine to go into the journal. I've kept, I've been keeping everything, little bits of washi tape. Just don't know when you need these scraps. And then I've got all of these things here. Okay, so this one has got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're counting that as 5. And you don't really want any more than 5 pages here because we are then going to be adding in a flip, which is going to make the bulk, and that can either go on the front as a key piece, or it could go on the back of the signature to lead you into the next one, or it can go, well, it can go anywhere you like. It can go anywhere it looks good. So that is where that flip will be going in the journal, wherever it looks good to you. So that could come on the front here. So that would look really cool if it flips down, or if it flips this way or the other way. That's fine. It's going to look good. So that's cool. So we can think about that. Okay, I'm having a look at this, and I'm just going to tear this down and remove the bit where it's got my address. So this was the front of the parcel that I was sent. Just do that, and then we'll lose that bit, and then I've got that to play with. I've just found this as well, so we could bring this in. Back that, and then I've got this to go somewhere. I think I'm going to tear this bit off here, and then that gives me another strip, and then this can become an embellishment here. Okay, so I'm starting to see that this might work very nicely as a front page, even though I did think that I would wait and leave it, but the fact that it says mail, because I'm receiving through the mail all of these things, I think it's just perfect. I think that's lovely, and it is quite a nice scrap. So I can either put it there and glue the whole lot down and then have that as writing space, or I could have a belly band, or I could create a tuck to put things in. So I'm really deciding whether I want it there in the journal to allow for a pocket, or a belly band, which also looks really nice. And it may be that I want to have that at the background, something like that, which is kind of interesting. Right, the idea forming here is going to involve some glue and this nice lace trim that I've been given, this cotton embroidery anglaise. And what I'm going to do is just measure out enough to fit that, and I want to have it fairly exact, but it would work if it went into that dip. So on that scallop I'm going to cut this, and we'll keep that for another part of the journal. So I'm just putting the matte medium down the side here. The beauty of this is hopefully it won't seep through too much and create a dark patch of sort of where wet glue is. So let's just see if we can put this on here. That seems to have gone on quite nicely, so we'll just leave that to do its thing. And I'll just brush on a bit on the edges there to see if I can seal down the edges. All right, that's worked quite nicely. Now what I'll do is I'll open it out, and what I want is this to wrap over, so it's going to be wrapping round and seeing the little embroidered daisies. Sweet. So let's just do that. All right, now I'm going to wrap that round. Just bringing that over, wrap that round, and then I will just put a bit of the gel medium over the top and work that in. It doesn't matter if it's on wonky, kind of like that. Keep everything at the moment. We'll move that out the way, and then this is going to come in here. Okay, coming round, this colour's matching in quite nicely with some of the little flecks and splats of paint that are on the paper here with the blue, so that's kind of good. This is a nice blue-grey colour, weathered wood. Okay, so I think that's all right. And then what would be really nice is an envelope that tucks in there, and then that would make more sense. So I think it might be nicer now to come over here and perhaps that not to be a belly band, but that to be a tuck for an envelope. Okay, so I think I'm going to glue that down, but I think I need a bit more of a focal point on here because I need the impact. It's going to be the front page, and I keep looking at these birds, or rather the birds keep looking at me, and I'm thinking that this bird is so beautiful and it brings in the yellow that I want to have coming in so for spring. So I'm thinking that if I open this out, we can get sort of this bird with the cherry blossom and see how that would appear. So I think I'll get my, let's get the bone folder and we'll just separate the sheet because then we can work with it. So we'll just squash the dimples down. I think you've seen me do this before, and then I can release the pieces of the napkin. There should be 3, but I just want the top layer, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, and then we'll keep those for something else for this journal. That's useful tissue paper. And then I'm going to, now I can see a bit better. I've got the transparency so I can see where my bird needs to be, and I can bring this piece in. I'm going to use a bit of water and just moisten my tissue paper with a water brush, and then come around here. We'll come right up here, and then we'll take that bit, and then I'll come down on the crease because I don't want to use that image there, so I'll just wet the tissue all the way down, and hopefully we've got the right amount, and then all I have to do is just pull it apart. Where it's got damp, the fibres just break up, so we'll just rip that bit there. Gently separate, no pressure at all, and just pull that bit away. So now we have our bird. I'll bring this back in and we can look at how we can use this napkin once more. Isn't that super? And then he's going to come and live there. I'll take off the sort of the line, the harsh edge here, just by tearing that away, so we don't have a corner. And I'll put that down with some more medium. Add some of this. So this could be watered down PVA glue, or you could use the matte medium gel. So I'm just going to put a fair amount over there. And now I can see exactly where he's got to go. So I could put a bit more glue down. And then I can just put the glue over the top as well. Doesn't matter if there's a few creases, but it's quite nice if it can go on nice and smoothly, because it'll just blend into the paper then. So I'll just do a bit more down here. Just using a flat brush, gently fanning out the pieces there. And that's decoupage. That's really, really pretty. I love that. And then that's going to come in there and it'll just hide the edge. We're just going to add our extra piece here, which will become a tuck. So it'll be a tuck in there. So it's nice. So it's already a part of the journal because it is part of the story of receiving kindness and happiness, something through the post. Nice that it says mail, and I'm just adding that down there in this really pretty collage. And that has come about by 3 people. So that was the napkin from Marie. This was the collage on the front of my Happy Mail from Joanna. And this is now me adding my spin to bring it all together for a journal that I will keep and treasure. And that is a treasured page because each piece is special. And what I can do now is I've got the pocket there, so we'll just wait for everything to set up and dry. That I really like. What else have we got? Then this I liked. I liked this idea. I quite like this as a tab. I'm wondering whether I should take a section of that off and then have it as tabs. That's nice. So just going to lop a bit off. Now this can come and live here as a fold out or a flip down or something. And I like that stamp in there, so that's quite nice as a flip. But I'm not really sure. I think it needs to go somewhere where it's going to stand out, or I'm going to stain it. It could look quite nice with a blue background and then bring the white out. And I'm just thinking if I've got some purple thread, I might like to just sew down there and keep that all tying in. And just, I love the texture. I think that looks really super because it's the pink and this purpley pink colour in it just seems to, it works. And I like it because it's got the brown over here, the brown tea stain, and it's something about that is just really pleasing. That's really lovely as well on that background, but it's not working there. So I'm pleased with how this is looking. And I've also got this, which has got an oriental style washi tape. So I'm wondering if that would just tie in, and we've got a sort of Japanese or oriental feel about things over here. I could lose that part of it and just bring in all of these pieces that Joanna has sent me, and then coming forwards now into what Marie has sent me, and I think that could work very nicely. So I'm going to do that. I'm just not quite sure how, whether I just cut that off or whether I rip it and have a more interesting shape. Let's just rip it. Right, that's that then. So that's how that that worked out like that. Take off a wee bit more. That's great. And then that's just a lovely scrap. See that, even that becomes an edge of something elsewhere in the journal. So scraps are coming along now. Okay, that's good. And then we'll just ink down the edge there. See, I might not want that because that's quite fun. So I don't really need a pocket because I've got a back here. So let's take that off. And then I can use that fan somewhere else. And that reduces bulk. So that can now come and be stuck down here. Okay, fine. So I'm going to hinge that in. Emphasise the crinkles, always fun. And then this can come and live down here. And that's how it's going to appear in the journal with this pink page here. Okay, so I've pulled out this lovely pink handmade paper. What I'm going to do is create a booklet, I think, and I'm going to use this as my guide. I'm going to chop it in half, and then this will be a cover of a little booklet, I think. What I want it to do is just slot in here. I want this to be a slot. I don't know if I'm sticking it down. I don't need to. Let's cut that there. And see if that is the right size. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to stick this on here because I really liked that poking out the side there. That's what I want. So I can pull it and then I've got a booklet. That's the idea. Okay, so I'm going to glue this piece on that I've been given here, this embossed piece with some Fabri-Tac. I'm using this sort of glue because it's attaching to a very fibrous piece of paper, thick paper, and I just need something that will grab on and stay. Put that on there like that. That's ideal, that's perfect. Having those two pieces like that has increased quite a lot of the bulk, so it may have been better to just have one, so I could do that, and then have the paper in there, so we've still got that, we can pull it out, and then we have the paper here. But I had got it in my mind that I would sew those together and create a oriental style stab stitch booklet. We're definitely going to make it thinner, and I'll just tear this bit down. Pretty good. Now, somewhere along the way we've gone a little bit skew whiff, so that one's not quite straight. I don't think this one's any better either. Okay, there we go, it's nicely trimmed and it's looking good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the clip on it, keep it together, and I'm going to use some string here that I've got. I've previously been given this anyway, so I might be able to just get some stitches in there, even if it's not traditional Japanese. It depends, because that's all the string that I've got. So I'm going to see if I could just get at least 2 or 3 stitches in there, and we'll see how we go. Okay, I've found my little practice swatch here that I was using when I was learning how to do it, and I think it's really useful to keep little cards like this so you can practice your stitches on it, and then they are nice reference points for you. I've got a good video there. I've got one on stab stitch where I did a little fish booklet, which you can see, a gold gilded fish booklet. I'll leave the link to that on how I did. Well, I'm going to do it now anyway, so you'll see. But it is quite nice to keep cards. You can have them all decorated, and then you can showcase the stitching that you do. And I've done that before in the Marion North journal, so we've got that. Here I have got some examples of stitching that I was learning and doing. So this is really useful to see how some of the stitches are, and it's a good way, it's a good record. If you make nice strips and then do the stitching onto it, you can keep it, and it's become a decorative piece in the journal. It's a pocket on the other side. So that's just a fun way of doing things. And this one is also in here as well. So for those of you that are just joining the channel and haven't seen me do all of this with the different ideas, there's a stab stitch there, but I've only done 2, so it really needed a 3rd one in there, but I didn't want to detract from the fish, so I left that one off. But we'll see if we can do one now with 3. So I'm going to do 4 holes here, and I'm going to use the pattern on here as my guide. So where the line dips down, that is where I'm going to put a hole, so just above it there, and I'll just use the awl and push through. Got to try not to stab my finger in the process. It's going through relatively easily because there's only a few pages in there. In fact, I've only got 2 pages of this tissue paper. This is fish and chip paper, isn't it? It's the packaging paper that we use to package up boxes when we're moving. So let's see if we can remember how to do it. So I went in through 1. Okay, I think I tied a knot, so probably should tie a knot. I'll just keep it in position because I might be able to tie it at the end. So if I give myself enough length there to play with, I might be able to tie it off at the end. That's if I've got enough, but we will see. Right, so I've gone through. Now I'm going over, am I? Then I go round. Then I go back in through the same hole, avoiding the one that I've already gone through. I can see already I'm not going to have enough. Then I go over, then I go back out, so we've gone through the same hole 3 times now. Then I go over here, then I go over the top and out. Well, this is what I think I'm supposed to be doing. Right, I've been through all my boxes and I finally found this, which I have been sent from my friend in Japan when I received the most amazing happy mail from her last year. And this notebook, beautiful paper, is a vintage one. Look at the aging spots on it. And I know you go this way from back to front, so there we are. It's got some writing in it. So I don't know if it's been written that way up or that way up, but I mean that looks like it might be the right way up. It could be that way. Anyway, I really don't want to be ignorant about it, but I definitely have got a page of script there, which is beautiful. So it's all special. So what I want to do is learn how the stitching is done. Now this is really beautiful on the edge there. That's next level, so I'm not going to attempt that. But I want to see. It's so cleverly done that we can't find. So the end has been lost in there, which is great. I'm just trying to see if I can work out. So where I've got to here is this bit. So I've come out over the top and through again. But yeah, I must have to go back on myself at some point. So then we go over. I don't know, we've missed one there. Let's just keep going. Keep going and see what happens. And then I've got to go round, somehow I've got to come round with very limited thread, so I really have made everything a lot harder for myself. Go through there. Right, that's got the look that I want. Then I've got to come over here. Oh, I get it. Okay, then I've got to come over here. Oh no, I'm just not going to get it through. Oh, what a shame. How silly. Alright, let's try. Keep going, keep going. Through there. And then, oh, look. How am I going to get that last stitch in and then link it up to there? Though I've done it. So I have done it. It's just, I can't get the needles not long enough. But that's where it needs to go, guys. So it needs to go through there. Can we go backwards with is that a possibility? Reversing. Oh dear. Okay, reversing. I had to push that through, but I've got it. So that's what it looks like on the front. And then we've just got this bit here. And really, if I'd had a bit more, I could tie that. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So really what I could do is I'll just glue it, I think, and put a bit of tape on it, and we'll just make it look like a feature of a nice sticker or something. So yeah, I just didn't have enough, but I suppose if I manoeuvre it about a bit, which is going to be really tricky to do because this is a complicated stitch, but if I try and manipulate it around a bit. Okay, I might have just about got enough here. Definitely an exercise in how not to do and how not to do it, boom boom. But there is the knot, and that is in position, and that is pretty good. And that is all the string that I had, so that was really good. And I was given that string at Christmas time from Joanna, so that's all fitting because this was Joanna's paper as well. So there we go. So that has all come from a swap. I've got the stitch in. I don't think it needs glue. The knot went in okay. So that's pretty good, isn't it? As an example, I've got this. This is going to go back in the box, so I'll be able to use that. And I've got the scraps here that I'm bringing back in now. And all these pieces can be used. All right, now moment of truth. Let's see if we can get this into the journal page here. So it's going to sit in there like that and poke out. That's going to be really nice, I think. How I've got it set up is so this can flip out and I've got writing space there, but the fact it's quite white is a little bit more bothering me. I don't mind that, so what I want to do is a belly band on there so that this will slot in. Okay, I've got plenty there, so another scrap there. We'll use that. That can go back to the box. So we're going to use this in here, but this is a bit too light. All right, I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper and put it here. I've got some ink, which is frayed burlap. Just using my grungy dauber here and just going to add some of that colour there. There'll be a little bit of the grey colour that was going on from earlier as well. And just going to scuff this up. We'll just go round in a circular manner, and there we go. Do like to ink my edges. Alright, so I found a bit of packaging paper from the parcel that I was sent, and I think that's quite good. I'll just tear that down. The glue stick has actually done a good job there because they're two porous pieces of paper sticking to each other. So that seems to have worked okay. So I'm just going to create a belly band here now by just gluing down top and bottom. And then I'm going to put these pieces on the top. Alright, and then I think it would be quite nice to just embellish here. I don't want to use too much because I really haven't got much. So let's just see what we have got here. I'm going to take that little bit there and add it in. And then I'm just going to put that right on the edge there. Stretch the fabric out so that it goes on to the end. And put the pressure on the embellished bits rather than on there because I don't want it seeping through too much. So I've got a little bit of decoration there. Flip over, we've got that. I mean, if I get any lace or anything else pretty, we can always decorate that out further, but I don't want to use that because that's another edge further along in the journal. In fact, it's another 2 edges and a little bit as well, so that's brilliant. We'll keep hold of all of these things because we don't want to start using up things. That's pretty. I might even like that, but I think I would maybe put some paint on that. But that's quite sweet. Well, I like that as an idea. We're going to just put that on the top there for now as an idea, because I don't know what I'm going to get. Okay, moment of truth. Let's just put this in here into the belly band. That's all secure. That's really sweet. So we can have other things in there as well. Writing paper in behind. And there we go. That's how that's going to appear. So from absolutely nothing, we are creating a journal from things that have been sent to us. And now let's put this into here. Alright, there we go. So I've done 3 pages. This one wants a bit more embellishment. I've also got this bit of washi tape that came off of a parcel. And that's got some cherry blossom on it. How about that? Oh, that's pretty. That's quite nice, but equally it could look quite good down a page. So I think that might be a waste. What else have we got? We've got this. That's nice. Could have that. This. And I've got this as well, which I've been given. So this is made of paper and it's purple. So I'm keen to have a look at this. I'm just going to cut off a length and see if I can untwizzle it and see what it actually is. Is it threads or is it just one bit of paper? What is it? Oh, okay. It looks like it's thread. Well, that's interesting. That's it felt like paper, but it's actually fibre, so it's thread which has got glue on it or something. It's just sort of like a coating on it, so each one is stiffened like with a starch or something, so that's quite fun. Separated like that gives an interesting texture, sort of like twisted wood or wire. That's really, really cool. So we could do something up here with the purple. That's quite fun, isn't it? Or we could add it down there, but that doesn't work. That's annoying. So we could add this in. And there. That would have been probably nicer there. And have those bits down there. Change of plan. I think I'm going to take the bottom bit off of there. See if I can rip it off and give a frayed edge. Pull that bit down with the frayed edge. I like that. Really using the scraps here now, and then bring this bit over here. That's better, like that. There we go. So there we have it. Okay, I've found a little flower in amongst the embellishments here, so I'm pleased. I'm pleased to find that. I'm just doing a little cluster here. Right, I'm gluing that edge down as well, so it really is a pocket from the top now. And then this is a tag that I've been given. If we find something cream and a bit interesting to put in the top there, then I can have that. What I'll do is I'll put all the useful bits here at the front. And then I can get it, all the little tickets and things that I want to bring into the journal and do something with can go in here. All right, and then we've got this to think about. Let's add that in there because that looks like it all works on that page. Oh wow, it's coming together. Okay, so let's see what we did. So this was the front page with the little bird peeping out and the male, so the lace trim, and this is all really super. So if we imagine that we can't see that, and this is our front page, that's going to be nice, isn't it? I like that. And then we come over and we've got something here, but something's missing from there, so I think maybe a cluster or something could go there in the future. Then we've got this, which flips out and gives us this, and we pull this out and it is a little booklet. Wants a press, but nevertheless, this gorgeous paper, the embossed paper. Yeah, so it's coming together nicely now, isn't it? So I'm going to carry on, and I'll be putting things on the back of this signature, and then we can start looking at that come June. So we'll be looking at the summer one in June, and we'll be getting another project on the 1st of May. And then I'll be waiting for my concertina piece to come through, which will be added into this signature, and then it'll all start to come together. So there we go. I hope you found that fun. That was quite a lot of thought process there and looking through what I had, but that is the beauty of junk journaling. It's all about problem solving. It's having a look at what you've got, trying to make it work for you, and just playing around with the things until you find something that works and feels right. And when it does, just glue it down and move on. And you can always come back with fresh eyes another day and think, oh yeah, that would be good. Or when you collect these things, or when they come through the door and you start adding extra bits. So it's not always possible to put things together on the same day because you don't always have them, but when you do, you will be able to add things as you go. And that's so much fun. It's a lovely relaxation, and I hope you found fun and value here. So do please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment to give me some feedback on that one. And above everything else, guys, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.